You think you got what it takes to take care of a bearded dragon? I get it, you go to a reptile store, or maybe you're at an expo, or you're browsing online, and then you see a spicy little tail in the corner of your eye. You start to think, I got a really good spot for that babe back at home, but then the thought of your little dino getting hungry, maybe dehydrated, or getting sick starts to pop in your head. Hello everyone, my name is Ed with Domestic Biomes, on a mission to help nature thrive in your home. I've kept many plants and reptiles over years, and in this video I'm going to share the 5 things you need to know to take proper care of your bearded dragon and to have it thrive in your home. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. Let's take a quick look at the profile for the bearded dragon. This guy comes from the arid, rocky regions and woodlands of Australia. These guys are active during the day and they spend most of their time burrowing, climbing trees, pretty much everything. Essentially, these guys are active, so they're gonna do a lot of stuff. They get as big as 18 to 24 inches long, and their lifespan is about 10 to 15 years. Now let's get into number 1, enclosure and housing. Minimum, these guys are gonna need 4x2x2, but if you can, please give them 4x2x3. These guys like to climb, they use a lot of their space, and they're very active, so the more you can give them, the better. 4x2x2 is just bare minimum, honestly. These guys need a little bit more space than that. The dirt, soil, or substrate you're gonna need is something well-draining, arid mix. Something you can use to mix is something like topsoil, play sand, cocoa core, coconut chips. Definitely add a lot of cocoa bark. Those are pretty sturdy and they can hold their weight. But if you're gonna add branches, make sure they're pretty sturdy as well. If you can add a couple boulders or rocks, they'll really appreciate. Definitely helps with the really sharp nails that they have. It's gonna be pretty difficult to keep plants alive with a bearded dragon. 1, they're probably gonna chew it. 2, they're freaking tanks. They're pretty much gonna body slam into anything, and just either or. Either they're gonna chew it up like a toy, or they're gonna thrash it around with body slams. So have almost zero expectation that your plant's gonna survive. But if you do, the best type of plant to put in there is ponytail. It's sturdy enough to maybe handle the body slams, and it's safe in case your bearded dragon decides to chew on it when it's going for a snack. But yeah, it's the only one that has the best chance of survival in the enclosure. Number 2, the lighting, temperature, and humidity. The temperature should be somewhere between 75 degrees Fahrenheit on the cool side and about 105 degrees Fahrenheit on the basking spot. For the humidity, it should be somewhere between 30% and 40%. And what this means is essentially don't miss too much. About once a month should be enough, maybe twice a month if they're going through shedding, or maybe it's during spring where nature is a little bit more of the wet season, but generally about once a month should be more than enough. Definitely add an LED. It gives the enclosure a bit more brightness, kind of like where they're from Australia. And you want to make sure you do include a UVB. They need a UVB bulb. A long one would be better just because it can reach their full length. So yeah, look for a high output, long UVB bulb. Number 3 is the diet and nutrition. These guys are half insectivores, half vegetarians. Dust your insects with calcium so they can absorb that and produce vitamin D in their body with the UVB. You can feed them live crickets, dubia roaches, or mealworms. They're not too picky. They're going to be pretty ravenous when it comes to their insects. You can feed them live insects once or twice a week. The staples for their veggies are something like collard greens, the cactus pads, and a little bit of mustard greens or something like that. You can feed them from time to time carrots, but try not to overdo it. Their main source or staple food for veggies is going to be collard greens, cactus pads, mustard greens, something like that. The veggies, you can feed them somewhere between 3 to 6 times a week. Because these guys come from a pretty harsh environment in the wild, they have adapted to essentially not really need standing water, so you're not going to need a bowl. You can put one in there just for your sake of mind or your peace of mind. So essentially just make sure you're giving them their veggies and their insects, and they're gonna get most of their hydration from that. So if you do want to add a little bit of hydration to their intake, you can spray down their veggies with a little bit of water to give them a little bit more moisture in there. Number 4 is handling and temperament. These guys are very excited to get out and about. They're very active. So yeah, handling is pretty easy. Whether it's a brand new one and they might be a little bit shy, you can trick them into getting onto you or onto your hand with a little bit of motivator food. They'll get on your hand and then boom, right onto your shoulder, you're good to go. These guys are very easy to handle and very easy to get them to trust you to handle them. Just keep an eye out for their glass surfing when they run back and forth in front of the enclosure. That's when essentially they want to get a chance to go out and play. Pop up, open the door, put them on your hand, shoulder, walk them around for a little bit, put them back. They're pretty slowish, so they shouldn't be able to get away from you in case you need to go and catch them, in case they get off your shoulder or something like that. Or yeah, they're pretty easy to get a hold of and put them back in their enclosure if they do tend to get loose or something like that. Number 5 is common health issues. They shouldn't have any issues with metabolic bone disease if you just have the main things. The UVB bulb, long bulb that covers their whole body, and then calcium on the food, and you should be good. They shouldn't have too much of an issue with their shedding if you spray them once a month. You have a hide in there where they can spike up their humidity, and a lot of dry space for them to just bask in the sun and take care of their shedding on their own. I got mine at an expo and I named her Sunny or Sunchip. Sometimes I nickname her Beast just because she looks like a monster on top of her enclosure, and just the way she eats. Very ravenous little dragon. But essentially you can get one of these guys anywhere. Reptile store, expo, or online. These guys are very common. Check the surrender pages. These guys tend to be given back and surrendered. So check those pages out and see if there's one available for you. But yeah, these guys are wonderful and easy to get. Now you know how to take care of a bearded dragon, how it can thrive in your home, and where to find one. Let me know in the comments if you plan on domesticating and bringing one home, and what name you plan on giving your little dragon. Thank you for watching the video. Please hit the subscribe button to help the channel out, and if you're interested in watching more reptile videos, please take a look at the ones I selected in the next screen, and if not, I'll see you in the next upload.